And here's the draw to Danfus. Gets it over the Hawk line. Dropped it to Shedden. Manson roughed him up along the boards. It came free back to center. There's going to be a penalty against the Blackhawks. Now Shedden in over the Hawk line. Centered it. Here's a chance. A shot. Kruzhelnyski scores. Mike Kruzhelnyski, as the Hawks relaxed, seeing that there was going to be a penalty coming against them. It cost them a goal, and the Leafs lead 1-0. Comes free to the near side. Held in by Goulet. To Larmer. Fires. He shot it up over top of the net. Larmer on the far board. Got away from a check. Moves in front center. Goulet. A shot. They score. Jeremy Roenick tucked in a backhander after Steve Larmer set him up beautifully. And now came free to the near board. Conroy holds it in to Creighton behind the net. He centered. Presley. Ingles. Rebound. He scores. Greg Gilbert. Now Larmer sends it in. Rob Ramage, the Leaf captain, back for it. Gave it away to Goulet on the near side.
That's far from the truth. There have been some good hits throughout, good clean hits. And Roenick catches Ramage off balance and levels him.
The counterattack for Goulet. He ran into Gord Brosiker, then got it over the line. Goulet finally surrounded, got it to Roenick. Cutting and he shoots. He scores! Jeremy Roenick fearlessly cutting to the net, and he fired it by Peter Ring. Caluso scoops it in. Todd Gill sends it around the boards. And Fenton couldn't get it by Wilson. Yes, he did, says Mark Perry. And now Clark didn't like Wilson taking the shot. Here's McGill and Clark, and the gloves are off, and McGill gets in a couple of short rights. And McGill and Clark are slugging it out. Two big, tough customers, and Bob McGill is all over Wendel Clark. And now they continue to flail away. They're slugging it out. Clark and McGill. And finally the linesmen come in there, and I've not seen Wendel Clark get his lunch handed to him the way Bob McGill just did. Penalties on the way at 3-1 Hawks.
Puck bounces by a Leaf player, and then right under the stick of Wilson. That puck still on the blue line. The puck never crossed the line. He shot the puck, wristed it towards the net. After the whistle blew in a late call, Clark came and challenged Doug Wilson, took a swing at him. McGill came across, and they went toe-to-toe at each other, and McGill won the fight.
And now Larmer out with it, racing it against Iafrate. He tries to center it. Here's Graham, and a save by Ing, but a Leaf penalty is coming. The Leafs, Ellett gave it to Reed. Chelios able to hold it in. To Larmer, to Goulet, cutting in front. Now Larmer in traffic, got it to Roenick, all alone to Goulet. He scores! And Goulet made a terrific play to set up Roenick's second goal, and Roenick returns the favor to set up Goulet for an easy tap-in. Roenick and Larmer helping Goulet with his 12th at 5:19. Here's a big scramble in the Leaf zone. Two Hawks lodged in the mesh. And Jocelyn Lemieux, meanwhile, is shaken up as he moves slowly to the Hawk bench. He was locked up behind the Leaf goal and was slow to get out of there.
Well, he was cross-checked right across the side of the helmet by Iafrate. Graham comes out to discuss that with Schick. And he's cross-checked on the ear, the side of the helmet, and he's got a lot of pain in the left ear. That was a deliberate attempt by Iafrate to injure. He cross-checked him right in the side of the head. Shot by Danfus. Shedden tied up by Conroy, and a nice dive by Shedden right in front of Schick. Conroy can't believe it, but he goes to the box regardless of the dive, and it's the third Leaf power play of the night. They're 0-for-2.
The draw to the near point. Ellett keeping it in center. Tip, they score! A turnaround deflection by Doug Shedden after Ellett just flipped it to the slot, and Shedden with a circling move able to redirect it. Todd Gill back over the Hawk line, but a good play by Yanni to force Marois to stay offside. Now they challenge one another, and the gloves come off, and Marois, wearing the face shield, should be given an extra 2 here as he and Yanni came together. Here's the draw. Roenick won it to Wilson. Scoops it up the boards. Roenick to the corner. Goulet cuts for the net center. One Petit blocked it. Then Goulet scores! Petit blocked the centering pass and went right back to the passer, Goulet. Coming to the near side. Thornton got it to the corner, then went down there. Oh, but Goulet writhing on the ice as his left knee really got crushed by the stick of the Leaf player. And Mike Gapsky out to have a look at the veteran sniper who's picked up his 5th consecutive game with at least a point here tonight. And Dave Ella just lowered the boom on him.
Troy Murray flipped it into him. He swatted at it, missed it. Was hacked in the back of the leg. There's no protection there whatsoever in the back of your knee. And he got swatted. Dave Ella, not known for that style of play, but that was a vicious two-hander in the back of a knee that's totally unprotected. Now Troy Murray and Dirk Graham now having words with Ella.
Well, why is Gord Brosker allowing Ella to meander around the scene there where Goulet is lying on the ice? They're asking for trouble with this sort of a situation.
Careful, the 3-goal lead. They don't want anything to happen that can negate that lead.
The Leafs player best at that is Reed, and he's out there now as it's dumped to the lead zone. A shot, they score! A funny hop off the boards, and Adam Creighton gets the good bounce. Out to the line in Manson. Far point to Yanni. Trent Yanni to Manson along one-timer. He scores! Dave Manson a rocket with a one-timer. 5 power play goals for the Hawks, and they lead 7-2. Here's the draw now as we start the 3rd period. It's dumped into the Blackhawks zone. Chelios backward, got run over from behind by Thornton. Now Yanni comes and grabs Thornton, and they wrestle in the corner.
Scott Thornton is a big boy. He just came back from the World Junior Championships. He represented Canada, where Canada won the final game 3-2 against the Soviets to win the gold medal. And Thornton, first pick in 1989, just ran Chelios heavily from behind.
But that time, Yanni coming to the aid of his teammate, and that's the type of thing that Mike Keenan would like to see more of from Trent Yanni. He's hardly a physical player, but a cheap shot delivered by Thornton as Chelios was vulnerable near that boards in sort of the no man's land area, and Yanni comes to the aid of his teammate, and that'll make some major points for the Blackhawk coaching staff. Thomas got away from McGuire behind the net, centered it. Murray, his shot deflects wide. Troy Murray fought off a hit and held the puck to Thomas.
This Toronto team has got a long way to go to get back into the championship form they had in the late 60s.
You were noticing an amazing sequence that I had not realized about the Toronto drafting and how they can be in this predicament with the drafts that they've had. It's just beyond belief.
Well, 1980 was their worst year for picking. They had a 25th pick in the first round and then the 26th pick. Ever since that time, the last 9 years, they never picked worse than 10. And this team has not had a winning record in this decade.
They've only rarely been even close to playing 500 hockey, and that is really quite an indictment of something, scouting, generally managing, or whatever you'd like to refer to. But to have that many high draft choices and to be this far away from a contending team is really very difficult to believe. Just by mistake, you ought to get a couple more high-quality players than they've been able to pick up.
It's a combination of not drafting well, and when they did draft well, they didn't handle the product properly. They threw them into the fire too soon.
And the trend recently for Toronto has been dealing away some of their top picks, and of course the well-chronicled trade of their first pick this year, which, if it winds up being the top pick, would be apparently the next franchise player, and Eric Lindros. And for him, they got a guy that can't make this team, which is an awful team. Tom Curvers, this has been scratched more often than not. Let's see, Curvers has played in 19 games so far this year for the Leafs. Now we got a little scrap in front of the Toronto goal as Creighton was trying to muscle one past Ing, and the Leafs trying to move him out from in front. And elbows come up, but that's all that happens. It's Chicago 7, Toronto 2. Lemieux racing back into the Leaf zone, trying to cut for the net, and he lost the handle as Richardson crashes him into the end boards. A big collision there, but the play continues.
We've had some pretty solid hits in this contest. Right from the opening whistle, we've had some solid contact. And when you look for solid hitting, you look for Jocelyn Lemieux with the Blackhawks, and you look for Luke Richardson with the Toronto Maple Leafs, who's dished out some solid hits in his career since being drafted first overall in '86 by the Leafs. So he really gave Lemieux an extra shot.
Sure, Mike Keenan would like to wait until he gets a situation where there's another GM that could be in some desperate straits trying to save his own job, and that's when teams become vulnerable and one-sided deals can be made. Now a problem with Thomas and Petit as they grapple in the corner. They nearly came to blows a moment ago, and all of a sudden the Leafs trying to play physical when they're down by 5 goals, and a little bit late for some of this nonsense.
Closing the barn door after the horses have escaped.